And that what in fact happened was Justin didn't harass Blake. Blake was interested in wresting control of this movie away from Justin, who was the director and the producer. She was just an actress in it, and used threats and coercion and bullying to do it. And to the point where this guy was in the basement at his own movie's premiere.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah.
Hollywood, my friends, where a movie adaptation of a beloved novel can transform from heartfelt promise to a full-fledged courtroom carnival faster than you can say, Academy Award nomination. Today's main attraction, Blake Lively, rumored to be staring down a potential 5-year prison sentence because apparently, when good old-fashioned lawsuits aren't dramatic enough, you throw in the threat of jail time. So grab your popcorn, organic, hand-popped by a personal assistant, obviously, because this fiasco has more plot twists than the film everyone keeps forgetting they actually set out to make. Let's rewind to what feels like a century ago. Back when fans rejoiced at the announcement that It Ends With Us, a best-selling novel known for its raw emotional depth, was heading to the big screen. At first, everything seemed just right. Justin Baldoni, revered for heartfelt storytelling, was at the helm. Blake Lively, adored for her comedic timing and ability to bring soulful complexity to a role, stepped into the spotlight as the leading lady. Cue the excitement. Readers, fans, media, everyone believed the universe had aligned to deliver something truly special. We had the perfect novel, the perfect cast, and a director determined to be faithful to the story's emotional core. Then, like a Hollywood cliché, it all unraveled the moment the cameras started rolling. Reports trickled in, whispers that Lively wanted to infuse more humor into the script, while Baldoni insisted on staying true to the novel's serious, sometimes gut-wrenching themes. Apparently, nothing says emotional storytelling like comedic one-liners and runway-ready designer outfits. But we'll get to the wardrobe drama in a second. For now, just picture the fans, initially full of hope, watching from the sidelines as their favorite story's adaptation morphed into a bizarre power struggle.
We've come across evidence that shows that even her own representatives knew that she was threatening and mean and tough and wanted to get her way. This is not something that we wanted out there. It's not something that Justin wanted out there. In fact, it hurts the movie. It doesn't help the movie.
My favorite part of what I've read of this suit so far is that Blake Lively did not even read the book that the movie was based on.
Correct.
And we're not talking War and Peace. This is a book that's probably written at a second grade reading level.
Yeah.
Let's be honest. If you're going to adapt a novel that plays heavily on raw emotion and personal growth, you might want to tone down the comedic confetti. That's exactly what Baldoni tried to argue, allegedly. Meanwhile, Lively's camp seemed giddy about broadening the film's appeal with snarky humor and some lavish visuals, because why not drape emotional trauma in high-end couture? By the time the first on-set images leaked, fans started scratching their heads. Wasn't this story supposed to make us cry, not giggle? The glossy photos seemed more fit for a rom-com than a gut-punch drama. Not surprisingly, the internet erupted, and so did Lively and Baldoni. Behind closed doors, of course. The director apparently told her to cut the comedic bits or risk burying the heart of the novel beneath punchlines in Prada. Lively, in turn, reportedly insisted comedic relief might be exactly what a modern audience craves. Because heartbreak and healing pair best with a witty aside. At first, it was just creative friction, typical showbiz stuff. But in Hollywood's never-ending quest to outdo itself, the friction escalated into a legal meltdown. Lively claimed she was being undermined and sidelined. Baldoni fired back with receipts, allegedly. In other words, typical Tinseltown drama. Next up, the day Baldoni decided a regular old lawsuit wasn't quite dramatic enough and slapped a $400 million defamation suit on Lively. Yes, you read that number right. $400 million. Because apparently, if you really want to declare war in Hollywood, you can't just go for a measly couple of million. You have to shoot for a figure so astronomical it sounds like a line item in a government defense budget. Baldoni's reason? He claims Lively publicly portrayed him as a tyrannical director who left her out of pivotal decisions. He also insists that behind the scenes, she was more than happy to push comedic rewrites, allegedly championing them, if not outright demanding them. So was Lively truly overshadowed, or was she the comedic puppet master all along? Depends on whom you ask. In any other city, we'd call this a classic he said, she said. But this is Hollywood, darling, so naturally we add a 0 or 2 or 9 to the lawsuit, and make sure every gossip rag devotes its front page to the blow-by-blow updates. After all, if you're going to have your reputation smeared, you might as well go for high-stakes spectacle.
Are you going to sue Blake Lively too?
Into oblivion, Megan. And, and we're carefully considering other people that will be sued also. And some of
Ryan
them
Reynolds?
come as a surprise. Ryan Reynolds, for sure.
Oh, wow.
Just when you thought we had reached peak melodrama, rumor has it that Blake Lively might have misrepresented or fabricated evidence, potentially changing the entire narrative. Some hush-hush sources say there are text messages, meeting transcripts, maybe even recorded videos that directly contradict Lively's sworn statements about how much comedic fluff she did or did not endorse. Now, typical Hollywood lawsuits revolve around money, bragging rights, and possibly an inflated sense of self-importance. But the moment you toss the possibility of prison time into the mix, things go from spicy to absolutely scorching. Could Lively, the actress famously known for delivering witty lines and impeccable outfits, actually face a 5-year prison sentence for perjury? Or something close to it? In a place like Hollywood, where NDAs, script leaks, and hush-hush settlements are the norm, some folks suspect this entire Blake Lively might go to prison talk is a big fat scare tactic. Settle with us, or we might just have to hand these damning receipts to the authorities, they whisper. Honestly, who wouldn't be rattled by the mention of prison? This isn't losing a role or paying a fine. This is potential jail time. And yet, the rumor mill keeps churning, spitting out these secret evidence stories faster than a Kardashian can produce a new season. It's enough to make you wonder if these hush-hush leaks are designed to push Lively into a corner. Because nothing says negotiation strategy, like threatening your co-star with orange jumpsuits. Even if you ignore the monstrous lawsuit and possible prison scenario, there's still the matter of Lively's alleged 180-degree turn on styling. Early script notes and behind-the-scenes gossip suggest she was thrilled about injecting some fashion flair into It Ends With Us. Think designer gowns, statement shoes, and camera angles that highlight every piece of couture. But apparently, once fans and critics started grumbling that these looks stomped all over the novel's emotional grit, Lively had to do some backpedaling. Fast. That's when the meltdown fully blossomed, according to Baldoni's camp. They claim Lively was front and center, picking out comedic beats and bold outfits, only to later claim she was coerced into them. So was she overshadowed by comedic fluff and couture, or was she the very one who requested a matching comedic soundtrack and a runway-ready color palette? Hollywood watchers are divided. Some say she merely went with the creative flow in early stages, then realized it was veering off course. Others suggest that once the negative press rolled in, she changed her tune faster than you could say Louis Vuitton. No matter which version you buy, you have to admit, it's delightfully absurd. A novel about deep emotional wounds is overshadowed by debates about comedic timing and Gucci belts. Honestly, if that isn't peak Hollywood, I don't know what is.
I'm a man, and this is a story that is told through the lens of a woman. And especially when it relates to intimacy scenes and to scenes where there is a mix of intimacy and violence, I wanted to make sure that those scenes had a female gaze. As much as I can try to see the world as a woman, I never will be able to.
And what's a Hollywood scandal without roping in another A-lister? Enter Ryan Reynolds, rumored to have contributed comedic lines or cameo ideas. Because when you're married to Deadpool himself, it's only logical to harness that comedic gold for your film, especially if you're wrestling with the question of how to keep viewers from drowning in tears. But as soon as fans of the novel started balking at the comedic direction, it seems that cameo talk dried up. Suddenly, it became convenient to pretend Reynolds' comedic insights didn't exist, or that Lively was never really on board with them. Some insiders say she tried to distance herself from those comedic influences, forgetting that in the digital age, private suggestions can reappear as Exhibit A or B or C in a lawsuit. Of course, none of this is confirmed. Maybe Reynolds never got involved. Maybe he did. But here's the kicker. The cameo rumors highlight the classic Hollywood chain reaction. 1 minute, everyone's brainstorming fun ways to liven up a serious story. The next, the public hates the shift, so the star's best move is to disclaim all responsibility, or risk being labeled the comedic villain who ruined a precious novel. Meanwhile, the director has actual receipts, so guess who's left scrambling? Now we get to the real heartbreak. Talk of perjury. Typically, defamation lawsuits are about damaged reputations and big checks changing hands. Criminal charges? That's a different animal. For Lively to serve time, there'd need to be undeniable proof she lied under oath or falsified something in an official capacity. Yet the rumor alone is enough to send tabloids into a frenzy. Fans find themselves thinking, Blake Lively? Prison? This must be a joke. Except it's not entirely a joke if rumors of contradictory evidence keep surfacing. Legal experts note that perjury statutes in certain jurisdictions carry penalties up to 5 years. Is that the maximum theoretical sentence, or the actual punishment she might face? No one knows. Our crystal ball is on the fritz. But that hasn't stopped the headlines from screaming, 5 years, 5 years, at every possible turn. Some believe Baldoni's team is blowing this up to gain leverage. Others think Lively might indeed have bent the truth once too often, and now she's in hot water. Either way, Blake Lively might go to prison is such a deliciously scandalous headline that it's overshadowing the entire movie. The real tragedy here might be for fans who actually wanted to see It Ends With Us on screen, without an accompanying side dish of legal mania.
What I make of that is that if your wife is sexually harassed, you don't make fun of Justin Baldoni. You don't make fun of the situation. You take it very seriously. You file HR complaints. You raise the issue, and you follow a legal process. What you don't do is mock the person and turn it into a joke.
So, where does this leave the adaptation the world was once so eager to see? Stuck in limbo? Obviously. Investors don't want to sink more money into a film overshadowed by talk of jail time. Marketing teams can't promote a movie if they're busy swatting away questions about perjury or comedic rewrites. Baldoni claims he still wants to honor the novel's emotional depth, but at this point, the public is more captivated by the real-life drama than the fictional one. One day, the rumor mill churns out whispers that settlement talks are happening behind closed doors, with each side trying to dodge open court revelations. The next day, new claims emerge that Lively's legal team has bulletproof counters. Meanwhile, fans on social media track every hint of progress or meltdown, torn between wanting a faithful adaptation and enjoying the spectacle of the meltdown itself. Let's not forget the poor novel at the center of this fiasco. It Ends With Us is a deeply emotional story about personal growth and resilience. Yet if you only read the headlines, you'd think the most important debate was whether Lively's comedic lines or couture outfits destroyed the soul of the source material. You might ask if, at this point, the adaptation is even salvageable. Or is the film doomed to be remembered only as that project with the insane lawsuit and possible prison sentence? And so we leave you with the question that sums up all of Hollywood's absurdity. How did a poignant story about emotional healing turn into a circus of lawsuits, multi-million-dollar defamation claims, and potential felony charges? Only Tinseltown knows, and it's not in the habit of explaining itself. Will Blake Lively actually see the inside of a courtroom, let alone a prison cell? Will Justin Baldoni get that monstrous $400 million check, or is this all a high-stakes game of intimidation? Maybe they'll settle quietly, wrap up the film, and release it with the tagline, "Inspired by the novel," and the most chaotic behind-the-scenes drama you've ever seen. Hollywood is a place where reality can be more outrageous than the fiction it sells. So, buckle up. This isn't likely to fade quietly. In the weeks or months ahead, you might see leaked transcripts, cryptic Instagram posts, or even half-baked apologies that manage to say nothing at all. The only certainty is that we'll keep gawking at this debacle, enthralled by a spectacle no screenwriter could have dreamed up better, and all while It Ends With Us collects dust on some studio shelf. In the end, maybe we'll get the adaptation we deserve, or maybe we'll get a cautionary tale about an industry that can take a beloved story and twist it into a comedic tragedy of epic proportions. Either way, Hollywood will keep on spinning its drama. Because let's face it, that's what it does best. so stay tuned. If you thought 5 years in prison sounded bad, just wait until the next plot twist. In Tinseltown, there's always room for one more, and it usually arrives wearing designer heels. Because in the City of Angels, even your biggest dreams can turn into nightmares of lawsuits and possible felonies, complete with front-page headlines, flashy lawyers, and a star-studded supporting cast. And honestly, isn't that exactly why we can't stop watching? All right, show's over. Hungry for more twists? You know where to find us. Keep that popcorn hot. We'll handle the drama. Want to catch the next showdown in real time? Hit subscribe and buckle up.